Bleach, Ashes of Las Noches, Episode 3, The Shadow Laboratory. Opening, Soul Society, Seirete, morning mist hangs over the barracks. The captain's hall glows with paper lamp light. A scroll of spiritual data floats above the table. Faint traces of hollow and Shinigami energy pulse in it. Open quote. Yamamoto, the reading from Karakura cannot be ignored. We send a covert unit. Do not engage Aizen. Understood. You're really putting me on another field trip with the orange-haired idiot. Cold glance. If you survive, perhaps you will learn restraint. Ichigo's already preparing. Close quote. Cut. Karakura town. Ichigo straps Zangetsu across his back while Orihime patches his shoulder. Open quote. That wound's still open. Maybe wait a day. If Aizen's making hybrids, waiting's just giving him a head start. Close quote. Urahara opens a Senkaimon behind them. Open quote. Urahara, coordinates lead to a dead sector of Hueco Mundo. If I were hiding something, I'd hide it there. Then we break in quietly. Define quietly. Close quote. Scene. Hueco Mundo. Desert outskirts. The team steps out under a black-white sky. Their footsteps echo for miles. Spiritual static hums like distant thunder. A narrow canyon ahead pulses with faint blue light. Deep inside, glass tubes, chained souls, and machinery humming in rhythm with hollow cries. Open quote, Rukia. This isn't Aizen's usual design. It's older. Feels like something from Mayuri's nightmares. Or mine. Close quote. A shadow moves behind the tubes, tall, masked, wearing fragments of captain robes. When it speaks, its voice splits between hollow rasp and soul reaper calm. Open quote. Unknown figure. Welcome, trespassers. You smell like the prototype. Prototype? Figure. The hybrid you killed. That was the first successful echo. Close quote. It unsheathes a black steel blade. The air turns heavy. Sand lifts into a storm. Battle sequence. Ichigo blocks the first strike. Sparks scatter across the glass tanks. Rukia freezes the ground. Renji whips Zabimaru forward, shattering one of the tubes. Souls scream and vanish. Open quote. Renji. Great, now it's mad. Figure. Mad. I was born from madness. Close quote. The masked figure releases its blade. Reiatsu crashes through the canyon like an earthquake. A mark on Ichigo's wrist glows the same color. Cut. Soul Society Research Division. Mayuri studies a monitor. Open quote. Mayuri. Ah, the resonance is reacting to Kurosaki's soul chain. Fascinating. Terrifying. Delicious. Should we warn them? Too late. Data tastes better under pressure. Close quote. Return. Hueco Mundo. Ichigo pushes into Bankai. The world folds to black lines. The figure laughs, matching him move for move. Their blades lock, light exploding between them. Open quote. Figure. You can't win, Ichigo Kurosaki. We share the same core. Every swing you make strengthens me. Then I'll just have to break the core. Close quote. He channels a condensed Getsuga. It detonates through the canyon, wiping out the lab in a flash. When the dust settles, the figure's mask lies cracked on the ground, but the body is gone. Ending scene, Las Noches, throne chamber. Aizen watches a new monitor flicker with Ichigo's data signature. Open quote. He's closer to the threshold than I expected. Good. So what's the next move? Let him think he's winning. Bleach, Ashes of Las Noches. Episode 4, Resonance of the Broken Mask. Opening, Hueco Mundo, Ruined Canyon. The smoke from the explosion drifts like gray fog. Ichigo kneels in the crater, his sword jammed into the sand. Rukia's ice spell fades. Renji coughs, brushing off dust. Open quote, Rukia. Ichigo, that blast. What did you do? I don't know, it wasn't just me. That mark reacted. Your wrist looks like it's burned in. Close quote. Ichigo glances at his arm. The glowing symbol pulses faintly, matching his heartbeat. Open quote. Feels like someone else breathing through me. Close quote. The air hums again. A faint echo of the masked figure's laugh ripples through the canyon, then fades. They all tense. Open quote. It's gone. No, it's inside. Close quote. Cut. Soul Society, Captain's Hall. The captains assemble again. Yamamoto's staff hits the floor with a deep boom. Open quote. The spiritual pressure registered at Kurosaki's location exceeded previous hollow measurements. Meaning? Meaning the boy's soul is syncing with that construct's frequency. If it continues, he won't be Ichigo for long. Grins. Then I better fight him before he's gone. Not funny. Didn't say it was. Close quote. Yamamoto's eyes narrow. Open quote, Yamamoto, monitor Kurosaki. If his control breaks, we contain him. Permanently. Close quote. Scene, Karakura Town, evening, the world of the living. Ichigo and the others return through the Senkaimon. Urahara's waiting, arms folded. Open quote. That mark? I was afraid of that. You know what it is? Let's call it a signature, something left behind by whoever made those hybrids. It's trying to sync your Soul Reaper and Hollow halves. So it's like another version of my mask? Exactly. But this one doesn't ask permission. Close quote. Ichigo stares at his hand. The mark pulses again, quick, bright, like it's answering a call. Cut, Las Noches' deep chamber. The cracked mask from before lies on a pedestal. A pale hand touches it. Aizen's. Reiatsu hums through the room. Open quote, Aizen. Resonance complete. The bridge between realms begins with one soul. The rest will follow. And Ichigo's the bridge? He always was. Close quote. Seeing Karakura rooftop, night. Ichigo trains alone. Each swing leaves orange trails in the air. He pauses as the mark burns again, eyes flickering between brown and gold. Hollow whispers echo faintly. Open quote, Ichigo. Stay out of my head. Laughing. Can't. We share the same body, King. And now there's a third throne. Close quote. The air shudders. A surge of power bursts from Ichigo, splitting the rooftop. His mask forms without him calling it. Orihime and Rukia sense it from blocks away. Orihime, that pressure. It's him! He's losing control. They rush toward him. On the roof, Ichigo drops to his knees, mask cracking, Reiatsu spiraling wild. His sword hums like it's alive. Open quote. Oh, no, stop. Why stop now? Let's show them what real power sounds like. Close quote. The blast sends a shockwave across Karakura, shattering glass for miles. Cut, Soul Society Research Division alarms blare. Mayuri stares at the readings. Open quote, Mayuri. Oh, magnificent. He's fusing faster than expected. We'll either have a god or a crater. Close quote. Ending scene. Hueco Mundo, a cloaked figure, stands in the dunes, mask fragments floating around him. It's the same presence from the lab, only now fully formed, watching the black sky. Open quote. Unknown figure. Resonance achieved. The chain has started. Close quote. The screen fades on the mark glowing faintly on his palm, identical to Ichigo's. Bleach, Ashes of Las Noches. Episode 5, The Chain Between Worlds opening. Karakura City, dawn. The morning light spills across cracked rooftops. Ichigo sits on the edge of a building, shirt torn, eyes shadowed. The symbol on his wrist glows faintly beneath a wrap of bandages. Open quote, Ichigo. One more fight, and I might not come back the same. Then don't fight alone. Close quote. She lands beside him, sword at her hip. The wind shifts. Something cold and wrong moves through the city. Cut. Soul Society. Captain's Hall. Yamamoto stands before a wall of light where Ichigo's readings flicker. The captains argue. Open quote, Soifon. We seal him now. Before Aizen turns him into a weapon. Ukitake. He saved both worlds more times than any of us. Bakuya. Emotion clouds judgment. Shunsui. Judgment's the easy part. Living with it's harder. Close quote. Yamamoto raises his staff. Open quote, Yamamoto. Observation continues. If Kurosaki crosses the boundary, containment is authorized. Close quote. Scene. Urahara's shop. Urahara sketches a circular sigil on the floor. Candles flickering. Orihime, Chad, and Ishida watch. Open quote. The mark's pulling energy from both worlds. If we cut the link, Ichigo lives. If not, the worlds collapse together? Let's not ruin breakfast with specifics. Close quote. He looks up. Open quote. Someone's transmitting from Hueco Mundo. The signal matches Ichigo's pulse. Scene. Hueco Mundo, Black Dunes. The masked figure walks across the sand, dragging its blade, whispering to unseen voices. Open quote. Unknown figure, two worlds bound by one soul. When the bridge breaks, which side falls? Close quote. It stops. Aizen appears ahead, calm as ever. Open quote. Aizen, you've served your purpose. The connection is stable. Unknown figure. Then what am I? A rehearsal for godhood. Close quote. The figure raises its sword but freezes. Aizen's Reiatsu crushes the air. The dunes split. The screen flashes white. Scene. Karakura, Warehouse District. Ichigo jolts awake on the ground, breathing hard. He looks around. The world seems slightly off. Colors muted, sound echoing wrong. Open quote. Ichigo, how long was I out? Close quote. He turns. Rukia's voice answers, but she's translucent. Open quote. you're slipping between worlds. Your body's still in Karakura, but your soul's crossing over. Ichigo, then tell me how to stop it. We find the source, the other half of that mark. Close quote. Lightning cracks overhead, a tear in the sky opens. Out steps the masked figure, alive and burning with light. Open quote, unknown figure. Finally. The echo meets the origin. I thought I ended you. You just made room for me to grow. Close quote. Their swords clash, the shockwave bends the streetlights. Each hit splits the ground wider, the rift overhead widening toward the moon. Cut, Soul Society, Command Center readings spike red. Open quote, Mayuri. Two identical signatures overlapping. Oh, this is art. If they merge, then goodbye balance, goodbye everything. Close quote. Final Kura. The two combatants lock blades. The mark on each wrist flares, forming a chain of light between them. Open quote. Ichigo. You're not taking my world. Figure. It's already yours and mine both. Close quote. The screen burns to white as both vanish in the explosion. Only the chain remains, glowing in midair before snapping. Bleach. Ashes of Las Noches. Episode 6, Fracture Point opening. Void between worlds, darkness, broken by drifting shards of light. Ichigo floats weightless, his sword hovering beside him. The chain that linked him to the masked figure flickers, then dissolves into motes. Open quote, Ichigo. Where am I? Close quote. A whisper echoes, half hollow, half his own voice. Open quote. Hollow Ichigo. You broke the bridge, King. Now you're the bridge. Ichigo. No. Not happening. I'm getting back. Close quote. He grips Zangetsu, the void ripples like water, revealing flashes of both worlds, Soul Society on one side, Huiko Mundo on the other. A massive tier of light stretches between them. Cut, Soul Society, Command Center alarms wail. Captains gather around glowing monitors. Open quote. He's gone. Spiritual signal lost. Not lost, displaced. Somewhere between planes. Delicious. A living experiment in dimensional collapse. Old Man Yamamoto, slamming staff. Enough theory, Kurotsuchi. We retrieve him before the breach spreads. A rescue team, then? Captain Kuchiki, Captain Zaraki, Vice Captains Abarai and Kuchiki depart immediately. Close quote. Kenpachi grins. Open quote. Finally, something worth cutting. Close quote. Scene, Hueco Mundo, Desert Edge. Aizen watches the rift shimmer against the sky. Ulquiorra stands beside him, silent. Open quote. Aizen. Beautiful, isn't it? The seam of existence torn open by one boy's will. You underestimate the instability. I rely on it. Scene, the Fracture Realm. Ichigo stands on shifting ground, half sand, half stone. Pieces of both worlds fuse together. So let skyscrapers twist into white towers. The sky bleeds from orange to gray. He walks forward and sees familiar faces. Ghostly versions of Rukia, Orihime, even his mother. They flicker and fade as he approaches. Ichigo, you're not real. Ghost Rukia. Maybe not, but your guilt is. Close quote. He clenches his fist. Open quote. This place messes with your head. Hollow. No, it is your head. Close quote. He looks up. His hollow half stands before him, fully formed, smirking. Open quote. Ichigo, I don't have time for you. You always say that, and yet here we are. Close quote. They clash. Sword against sword. Sparks tear through the fractured world. Each blow splits reality, showing glimpses of Karakura and Soul Society beneath. Cut, Between Worlds Rescue Team entry. The captains step through a custom Senkaimon designed by Urahara. The gate opens into a storm of color and static. Open quote. It's unstable. We've been through worse. Laughing over the noise. You kidding? This is perfect. Old Man Yamamoto. Proceed with caution. Kurosaki's Reiatsu is erratic. Do not engage him if he's transformed. Close quote. Scene, inside the fracture. The team lands amid floating rubble. Time flows unevenly. Sand from Hueco Mundo drifts through cherry blossoms from Seirete. They spot Ichigo fighting his hollow form. Both are identical, blurring together in bursts of light and shadow. Open quote, Rukia. We can't tell which is which. Old Man Yamamoto said not to engage. Yeah, orders sound boring. Close quote. He charges straight into the fight. His blade meets Ichigo's mid-swing, halting the clash. Open Quinpachi, what the hell are you doing? Seeing if you're still you, close quote. The hollow Ichigo laughs, vanishing into the mist. Ichigo drops to one knee, panting. Open quote, Ichigo. It's not gone, it's waiting. then we'll keep you standing until it's over. Close quote. The sky above fractures again, light pouring through. A new presence descends. A shadow shaped like Aizen's hybrid creation, but larger, dripping with energy from both worlds. The breach widens. All units prepare for evacuation. The team braces as the creature lands, roaring loud enough to shake the ground. Ichigo looks up, exhausted but determined. Open quote, Ichigo, fine. Round 2 it is. Bleach, Ashes of Las Noches, Episode 7, Wrath of the Fracture Beast opening, Fracture Realm, Crumbling Sky. The rescue team spreads out across the shifting terrain. Cracks of white light split the air as the hybrid creature drops through the clouds, part hollow mask, part Shinigami armor, eyes burning violet. Every step warps gravity. Open quote. What is that thing? The energy feels like the lab's creations, only amplified. Grinning. Good. Big one. Close quote. He charges, blades colliding with a shock that sends chunks of ground flying. Sparks rain like meteors. Cut. Soul Society Command Center technicians shout over sirens. Readouts show Ryatsu flaring beyond safe levels. Open quote. Old Man Yamamoto, stabilize the gate. If it collapses, they're lost. Already working on it, old man. You might want a bigger gate. Old Man Yamamoto, do it. Close quote. The flames from his staff ignite the air around him, powering a secondary link. The Senkaimon widens, lightning wrapping its frame. Scene, Fracture Realm. Battle Kenpachi's laughter echoes through the storm as he slashes again and again. The beast counters, mouth opening into a spiral of energy that erupts outward. Rukia leaps forward, releasing Soden no Shirayuki. A blizzard bursts from her blade, freezing half the beam. Open quote, Rukia. Now, Renji. Got it. Close quote. Zabimaru coils and smashes into the creature's side, sending it sprawling. Ichigo pushes himself up, mask fragments flaring along his face. Open quote, Ichigo. This ends here, close quote. He flash steps, meeting the beast midair. Their swords collide, orange and violet explode together. The impact shakes the world. The rescue team is thrown back. The beast roars, slamming Ichigo into the ground. Dust and light swallow everything. Cut. Inner world, Ichigo's mindscape. Rain pours over the endless city of black skyscrapers. Ichigo stands before his hollow half again, both panting. Open quote. Hollow Ichigo. You can't beat that thing while you're split in two. You want control again? No, we share it, or we die. Close quote. They stare at each other, then both smirk. The rain stops. Two swords merge into one. Back to Fracture Realm. A burst of orange-black light erupts from the crater. Ichigo rises, cloak of mixed Ryatsu flowing around him. His eyes glow twin gold and white. Open quote. He's balanced? For now. Close quote. Ichigo flash steps faster than sound, carving across the beast's chest. The wound splits open, releasing a shockwave that turns the sky pure white. Open quote, Tensho. Close quote. The beam cuts through the creature, piercing the rift itself. Energy floods upward, fracturing the barrier between realms. Cut. Soul Society monitors spike. Old Man Yamamoto slams his staff. Open quote. Old Man Yamamoto, all units. Open the gate fully. Pull them out now. Close quote. Flames surge through the Senkaimon. The team leaps for it as the world behind them starts collapsing. Rukia grabs Ichigo's arm. Open quote. Come on. We're leaving. Not without finishing it. You did finish it. The damn thing's dust. Close quote. Ichigo looks back. The beast disintegrates into shards of light that spiral toward the closing rift. He nods once and dives through the gate. Ending scene. Soul Society, courtyard. The team stumbles out onto stone. Healers rush in. The sky flickers. The fracture above closes with a low rumble. Open quote. Old Man Yamamoto, status. Rukia, mission accomplished. The beast is gone. For now, but that energy didn't vanish. It dispersed. Old Man Yamamoto, then the war Aizen seeks has already begun. Close quote. Ichigo stands in the background, silent, looking at the faint mark still on his wrist. It glows once.